Good morning, Oracles. So what's in store for Tesla stock this week? So we've got Giga Berlin that got approved on Friday. Still a couple of little things here and there to finalize, but it looks like March 19th they should be starting production and first deliveries will be going out on March 22nd or March 23rd. There's been a lot less information coming out of Austin. We know that they're going to have the Giga Fest on April 7th, but unlike Berlin, we've had all along the way, here's the next step, here's when we're going to get approvals, this is what we need. We haven't gotten that information out of Austin. I don't know if it's because Austin is much closer to the timeline they should be on for opening or not, or whatever it is, but we should be getting the approvals for Austin very soon. And from what Holmar's catalog had mentioned, we should be getting deliveries out of Austin by the end of this month as well. And so whether we get the approval and the update on that this week or not is yet to be seen. We shall find out. As we saw on Friday when we got the approval for Berlin, didn't really move the stock all that much. Macro environment issues are still way too heavy right now to allow that to come up. Plus, you can also argue the fact that knowing that it was going to be opening up was already built into the price. That's potential as well. Either way, there's just so much uncertainty going on. This week by itself is going to be kind of crazy. Last week we were so up and down all over the place and ended up finishing flat. And I think that's what we're going to see a lot of going forward. So paying attention to what the stock is going to be doing this week, we've got CPI data coming out on Thursday. Now we've been talking about the bull pennant that we are in, that the S&P is in, that many stocks are currently in. So this is kind of a point where I think Thursday is going to be the make or break. I think the data that comes out on Thursday is going to determine whether we break out or break down. Now, just to be realistic, if we do break out, I don't think it's going to last long. I don't mean to be a negative Nancy. I don't mean to pull everything down and be pessimistic. Just trying to be realistic. If it does break out, we still do have the following week, we're going to have rates going up. And so when we get the FOMC meeting notes that come out and Jerome Powell tells us what the Fed's decision is, that I think is going to weigh more on the market. So if, again, we do break out on Thursday after CPI, it may only last a couple of days. We may go into uncertainty going into the following week. And I don't know if we're going to have any extended periods of stock running at all for the rest of the year. Realistically, we're going to have our ups and downs, but I think we're going to be mostly sideways and more down than up. Whether we've hit the bottom or not, I don't know. 700 for a low recently for Tesla is very, very low. Whether we go back down there or not, I don't know. I think we may venture back into the 700s at some point over the next couple of months. But again, future has yet to be seen. So many things uncertain. Russia-Ukraine could escalate to become worse situation than it is already. That could really pull the whole entire market down. And again, whatever happens in the market here pales in comparison to what is truly going on over there in Ukraine. And again, if we get to a significant point in the future where things get even worse, the stock market is going to be the least of our concerns. And now I did pose a question on Twitter to Elon asking the viability of utilizing the test vehicles, the test Model Ys coming out of Berlin as a way for refugees to get out of Ukraine. I did get a response from someone over there saying that the Eastern European infrastructure could not handle that, and that Model Ys and the test vehicles are not legally allowed on the road. So I kind of assumed that they weren't legally allowed on the road. I didn't know if they could be utilized in this emergency situation for that. And I don't know the infrastructure of Eastern Europe. Maybe if someone on here can clarify. I mean, from what I have seen, sounds like there's 30,000 Teslas in Ukraine. So that would lead me to believe that they at least have infrastructure that is there that could handle this. And I know that they made some of the charging stations in Poland free to help with the whole transition and people getting out. So let me know if you guys are from Eastern Europe or anybody anywhere over there that can verify this information that I had gotten from this person on Twitter. I mean, of course, it'd be awesome if Elon himself responded, but I wasn't holding my breath to see if that was going to happen. But I can't do a lot on my end to help over there. I wish I could do more, but just coming up with ideas and hoping maybe that could be a viable solution to help them out would have been great. So if you guys can give me clarification on that, if you're over in that area, that'd be awesome. And now going back to the stock a little bit, so Vinny from Investment Club and I had our second episode yesterday. If you guys haven't checked it out, I'll put it in the description down below. And one of the things that had popped up was like a generational ETF, something like my son. We look at generations as they go on, and currently the generations that are in charge of everything are utilizing things that they grew up with. And so I'm like, computers, weren't around 50 years ago, but they're utilized now. So what is it that, like my son, he's 15, what is his generation using now that is going to be utilized later in life, more regularly? And these are the companies I'd want to invest in. And of course, we've also discussed Tesla as being basically its own ETF. And while being realistic, it's not there yet. It's going to get there. It's got energy, it's got vehicles, it's got insurance. So many different things that Tesla's got going on that make it its own ETF. And I think that's going to be a huge player going forward. And so regardless of what generation ETF you'd be in, I think like Millennial, Gen X, Gen Z, I think all of those generations would have Tesla in their own ETF. And that's the reason why Tesla is my number one play going over the next 10 years. And so when I look at the near-term situations going on for Tesla, like for instance this week, I look at, all right, well, I'm obviously playing it long-term, so what happens in the near term doesn't really matter. But as far as, what am I going to do for investing more? Do I want to add more? Do I want to wait and be patient? These are the things I look at for going forward. And I'm like, if we get a breakdown in the stock because inflation is running too high on Thursday with the CPI, maybe I buy more. Maybe that is a good reason to buy more, or maybe not. Maybe if we break out, I wait and say, all right, if we break out, knowing that in the macro environment, we're probably going to pull back some more, may not want to add extra as we climb and go up and break out. I may wait for that pullback and then buy more then. Lots of different strategies. But I do think cash is going to be very important. Cash flow generation. This is something I have talked about many times over the last couple of months. And having that cash flow generation coming in to be able to invest in stocks like Tesla are going to be huge over the next year. I don't foresee us really coming out of this for about 12 months. So every little bit that you add over the next 12 months is going to just magnify that much more when we do come out of it. And while we do have a lot of this macro environment volatility going on at the moment, fundamentals are still going forward. It's not like the whole world is completely shutting down. Some parts are, and it sucks, and it really it shouldn't be happening, but it is. But the rest of the world is still turning on, and it's still going. And so looking at what Tesla has for their fundamentals, they got CATL factories opening up in Shanghai, just to produce them with batteries. They got Panasonic looking to open up a factory for battery production here in the US, strictly for Austin. I mean, we have some major moves being made by Tesla fundamentally to explode their business over the next 10 years. And you can't overlook these things. And the way I look at it is, Tesla is heavily investing in themselves for a fundamental purpose to grow their business in the future. So these are the times that I also want to be investing in Tesla. I don't want to wait until all of their, investments for themselves come to fruition, because at that point the stock price is going to be significantly higher. I'm going to invest in Tesla when Tesla is investing in Tesla. And to me that makes the most sense. And then when we come out of it and all of their investments start showing the fruits of their labor, we and our portfolios will also show the fruits of our labor and our discipline for investing when Tesla did. Let me know in the comments below, when do you think that we are going to get official approval notice from Austin? Do you think we're going to get it in the next week? Do you think it's going to happen maybe the week before GigaFest? Let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all your support and feedback. If you have not subscribed, please do so down below. Sign yourself up for notifications. I am over on Twitter at OracleTim1. I share all the latest Tesla news, pertinent stock market information, and all of my daily trades. Thank you so much. Have a great one.